Yo, stop everything you're doing right now and listen carefully because what I'm about to tell you is straight disgusting and will make your blood boil. King Von's mother, Tasha Bennett, the woman who raised Chicago's most feared storyteller in the heart of O'Block, the same mother who already buried her son after that fatal night in Atlanta, allegedly got robbed at gunpoint. And the name that keeps popping up in the streets? It's connected to Quando Rondo's side, the very crew accused of taking King Von away from this world. Yeah, you heard that right. The mother of the man they already killed now had a gun pointed in her face while someone tried to take what her dead son worked so hard to build for her. Imagine the audacity. A grieving mother who sacrificed everything, who watched her son go from the streets to stardom, who received that brand new Benz from Von himself, suddenly staring down the barrel because the protection died with her son. This doesn't feel like a regular robbery, family. This feels personal. This feels like revenge. This feels like they took her son, and now they're coming for everything he left behind. O'Block is raging, Von fans are losing their minds, and the internet is on fire with people screaming, if Von was still alive, this would have never happened. Old clips of Von buying his mom a car are circulating again, while fans cry in the comments asking how low these niggas can really go. This is not just drama, this is pain on top of pain, betrayal at its coldest, and right now the entire drill world is demanding answers. Now let's really get into this mess, family, because what started as whispers on the timeline has turned into a full-blown explosion across Chicago, Atlanta, and every drill page on the internet. Tasha Bennett, the woman who carried King Von in her womb, the same queen who raised him through the gunfire and chaos of O'Block when most single mothers would have folded, allegedly found herself in one of the most terrifying situations a mother could face after already losing her son. Picture this, a gun pressed right in her face, demands being barked at her belongings being snatched while the fear of God runs through her body. This wasn't some random junkie looking for a quick lick. Streets are saying the energy behind this robbery feels way too familiar, way too connected to the same circles that were present the night King Von took his last breath outside that Atlanta hookah lounge back in November 2020. Quando Rondo's name and his people keep floating in these conversations, and that alone is enough to make Von fans see pure red. Think about the timeline for a second. King Von, the rawest storyteller drill rap ever heard, built his entire image on being that O'Block savage who told the truth no matter how ugly it was. He rapped about the streets eating their own, about losing friends, about protecting family, and most importantly about taking care of his moms. Remember those viral videos where Von pulled up with that shiny new Benz for Tasha? He was smiling ear to ear, flexing how he finally got his mother out of the struggle after years of her grinding retail jobs just to feed the kids in one of the deadliest zip codes in America. He used to say in interviews that everything he was doing in music was for her, for his kids, for breaking the curse that took his own father Silk away when Von was just 11 years old. Silk got hit with a sniper shot, leaving Tasha, a widow raising boys in the heart of Black disciple territory while the city tried to swallow them whole. Von watched all that pain, lived it, breathed it, and turned it into platinum records like Crazy Story, and took her to the O. He owned his masters, kept his publishing, built a real bag so his family would never have to depend on the streets again. And then just 7 days after dropping Welcome to O'Block, which debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200, bullets took him away in Atlanta. Quando Rondo was right there in the mix that night. Words turned into punches, punches turned into gunfire, and Lul Tim allegedly pulled the trigger that ended Von's life at only 26. Tasha had to bury her baby boy while the world watched her cry on camera. She still showed up strong though, managing the estate, approving posthumous albums, sitting in the studio for grandson, making sure her son's voice never died. Millions upon millions of streams kept rolling in. The catalog was valued anywhere from 2 to 4 million and growing. She was supposed to finally breathe easy. But the streets don't let you breathe when they smell money and when the main protector is 6 feet under. Now fast forward and the rumors hit differently. People are saying the robbery wasn't random. They're saying the faces involved or the energy behind it traces back to the same opposition that celebrated when Von fell. Quando Rondo's crew already took the son, now allegedly coming for the mother? That's the kind of cold shit that makes the whole culture look heartless. Fans on Twitter and Instagram are going crazy posting side-by-side clips. One side shows Von hugging his mom, buying her that car, talking about how she's his everything. The other side is blurry footage and alleged details of Tasha being approached, gun drawn, things being demanded from her. Comments are flooded with rage. Vaughn would have turned the whole city upside down if he was here. This is why you don't let ops breathe after they touch your people. Tasha already lost her husband to the streets, lost her son to the streets, and now this? How much more can one woman take? Even neutral drill watchers are saying this crosses a line that should never be crossed. You don't go after the mother. That's sucker territory. That's the kind of move that makes real street niggas shake their head, because even in the trenches there used to be some code. But nowadays the code is dead and everybody is just moving for clout, for money, for revenge that never ends. Let me paint the picture even clearer so you feel the weight. Tasha Bennett didn't grow up soft. Born in Los Angeles, she moved to Chicago and ended up deep in Parkway Gardens, better known as O Block. She had education, she had dreams. She worked retail manager shifts while raising multiple kids in an environment where gunshots were the lullaby. When Silk got killed, she became both mother and father. She watched her son Devin, who would become King Vaughn, get sucked into the system. Juvenile at 16 for armed robbery, Cook County Jail at 18 for a gun, then sitting for over 3 years on a murder case before beating it and finally getting signed to Only the Family by Lil Durk. She prayed through every court date, every night her son didn't come home, every time the streets tried to claim him. When Vaughn finally blew up, she was the first one he spoiled. He posted receipts. He showed the world, "I made it and my mom's good now." That Benz wasn't just a car, it was a symbol that the struggle was over. Or so everybody thought. Because after Vaughn's death, the money kept coming but the protection didn't. The estate is still generating serious revenue from billions of streams across platforms. Posthumous projects kept charting. Tasha was involved in the process, making sure her son's story stayed authentic. She wore the LLKV jersey with pride, rapped his lyrics word for word in clubs, started foundations to help kids avoid the same path that took her son. She was turning grief into purpose. And then this alleged gunpoint situation hits. The audacity is what's really blowing minds. If the streets are connecting this to Quando's side, it feels like a direct continuation of the war that took Vaughn. Quando was never the shooter, but he was right in the middle of that Atlanta chaos. Vaughn allegedly approached him first, punches flew, then the shots rang out. Since then the dices have gone back and forth. Quando dropped tracks that fans say took shots at Vaughn's memory. Vaughn's people fired back. The beef never died even after the funeral. And now, years later, Tasha allegedly gets approached in a way that feels targeted. Some voices on the internet are claiming it was a straight robbery for jewelry, cash, whatever she had on her. Others are saying the timing and the people involved make it look like an attempt to send a message. We took your king, now we can touch anything connected to him. That kind of thinking is dangerous because it means no one is off limits. Not the mothers, not the kids, not the legacy. Vaughn spent his whole career rapping about how the streets destroy families. He told the stories so raw that people felt like they were right there on the block with him. Now his own mother is living another chapter of that same story, and it hurts differently. Fans are divided in the comments, but united in their anger. One side is posting old interviews where Vaughn talked about dying young and making sure his mom's was straight. Another side is circulating screenshots of alleged police reports or street accounts describing the robbery. Emotions are running higher than they have in years. Lil Durk hasn't said anything publicly yet, but people know OTF is watching. Chicago drill pages are on fire with theories. Some say it was GD's link to Quando's circle. Others say it was just hungry young niggas who saw a high-profile target and went for it. Either way, the disrespect feels personal to the culture. Tasha already survived losing her husband to a sniper. She survived watching her son sit in jail facing life. She survived burying that same son after he finally made it. She survived the internet picking apart her every move after his death. And now this? A gun in her face? It's like the city that raised Vaughn is refusing to let his family go. The same violence he documented is still hunting the people he loved most. What makes this even spicier is how much money is involved. Welcome to O Block alone crossed 1 billion streams on Spotify. The catalog is still in print. Merch, licensing deals, YouTube views. The estate is healthy and Tasha sits at the center of decisions. That kind of bag makes people bold. Robbers don't care about legacy or grief. They see a name, they see opportunity. But when that name is King Von and the target is his mother, it stops being a simple crime and starts feeling like an attack on everything Von stood for. Von rapped, "I ain't gotta prove shit. The streets know who I am." His presence alone kept a lot of wolves away from his circle. Once he was gone, that invisible shield disappeared. Now the wolves are testing how far they can go. And allegedly, they went all the way to Tasha. Let me tell you something real. This situation is reopening old wounds for a lot of mothers in Chicago. Single mothers who lost sons to this drill war are watching Tasha's story and seeing their own pain reflected. They're commenting things like, "Prayers to Mama Vaughn. Y'all don't know what this woman's been through." Others are angry, saying, "This is why we gotta stop glorifying this shit." The music sounds hard, but the aftermath is pure destruction. The Breakfast Club-type conversations are happening in barbershops and group chats everywhere. People are asking if the culture can ever heal when even the mothers aren't safe. Vaughn used to say in songs that he was trying to make it so his family could move differently. He wanted them out the hood, out the drama, living comfortable. He almost did it. Then one night in Atlanta changed everything. And now years later the drama is knocking on his mother's door again. As the details keep leaking, more questions are coming up. Was it really connected to Quando's people, or is that just internet speculation mixing with old beef? Did Tasha know the faces behind the gun, or was it masked up and fast? How much did they actually get away with? Jewelry, cash, phone? Is she okay physically, or is the trauma hitting harder than anything she's faced before? These are the questions the streets want answered, and right now nobody is giving clear statements. Tasha herself hasn't dropped a long video or interview yet, but her silence is speaking volumes. When a woman who has been through hell stays quiet after something like this, it usually means the pain is too deep for words right now. Vaughn fans are begging her to speak, to confirm or deny, to let the world know she's still standing strong like she always has. Because if there's one thing everybody agrees on, it's that Tasha Bennett is a fighter. She raised a king in hell. She buried him and kept his name alive. She turned tears into streams and grief into generational money. But even the strongest queens have a breaking point, and this robbery might be pushing her close to it. The more you sit with this story, the heavier it gets. King Von documented the cycle of violence better than almost anybody. He showed how one wrong move, one beef, one bullet can destroy bloodlines. He warned the youngins that the streets don't love nobody. Yet here we are watching the same cycle reach for his own mother. The irony is brutal. The man who told the world, "I'll do anything for my people," is gone, and now his people are vulnerable again. Quando Rondo's name being dragged into it makes the whole thing feel like unfinished business from that Atlanta night. Whether it's direct or indirect, the association alone is enough to make fans want war. They're posting old Von Deeses, old fight footage, old interviews where he talked about never letting ops rest. The energy is volatile, and the internet is pouring gasoline on it every hour. This is only the beginning of what we're unpacking here, because the layers go deeper than just one robbery. This touches legacy, respect, money, grief, street codes that no longer exist, and a mother's unbreakable love for a son the world lost too soon. Tasha didn't ask for any of this. She just wanted to raise her kids, survive the hood, and see her son make it. She saw him make it for a short moment and then watched it all snatched away. Now the same streets are trying to snatch more. That's the real tragedy. That's the spice nobody wants to swallow, but everybody is forced to taste right now. That's the real tragedy. That's the spice nobody wants to swallow, but everybody is forced to taste right now. And as the story keeps unfolding, more layers keep peeling back, showing just how deep this wound really cuts for Tasha Bennett and the entire O-Block family. People close to the situation are whispering that the robbery wasn't some quick smash and grab by strangers looking for fast money. No, the energy felt targeted, the timing felt calculated, and the names being thrown around in private group chats and encrypted messages all point back towards circles that have never hidden their beef with King Von. Quando Rondo may not have pulled the trigger himself on that November night in Atlanta, but his presence, his crew, and the ongoing Deeses have kept the fire burning long after Vaughn was laid to rest. Fans are connecting dots that maybe they shouldn't, But in the streets you know how it goes. Once blood is spilled, the retaliation never really stops, it just changes form. One day it's direct shots, the next day it's coming for the bag, the jewelry, or the woman who raised the king. Imagine Tasha sitting there, heart still heavy from years of mourning, trying to move forward by keeping her son's catalog alive and his foundation helping young boys stay out of the same traps that claimed Devon. She's out here wearing that LLKV jersey with her head held high, rapping every bar of crazy story like she lived every word because she damn near did. She raised him through the raids, the lockdowns, and the nights when O'Block turned into a war zone. She watched him get his GED behind bars, watched him beat a murder case after sitting for over 3 years, watched him sign with Lil Durk and finally taste real success. And just when the money started pouring in heavily, billions of streams, chart positions, merch flying off shelves, the streets snatched her baby away. Now, years later, when she should be enjoying the fruits of his labor, she's allegedly looking down the barrel of a gun again. The same kind of gun that took her husband Silk when Vaughn was only 11. The same kind of gun that ended her son's life at 26. How many times can one woman stare death in the face and still stand tall? That's what has mothers across Chicago crying in their living rooms and typing prayers under every post about Mama Vaughn. The reactions online have been nothing short of nuclear. Vaughn fans, the real day ones who memorized every bar and defended O'Block to the death, are posting old footage of Vaughn spoiling his mom like it's therapy. There's that clip where he pulls up with the Benz, windows down, smiling that signature grin, telling the camera, "I had to get my mom's right. She held me down when nobody else did." Comments under those videos are flooded with broken hearts and fire emojis. Is this the same woman y'all coming for now? You'll really this grimy? Quando's side really took it this far? That's some weak shit. Even people who don't ride for O'Block are saying this crosses every boundary. In the drill community there used to be an unspoken rule. You don't touch the mothers, you don't touch the kids, you keep the war between the men. But that code died a long time ago, and now everything feels lawless. Shade room style pages are blowing up with alleged eyewitness accounts. Some say Tasha was approached while handling normal business. Others claim it happened near familiar South Side spots where Vaughn's name still carries heavy weight. Either way, the disrespect feels personal and the internet is eating it up while simultaneously raging against it. What makes this even more twisted is the money angle everybody keeps circling back to. King Vaughn didn't sell his soul to the labels. He kept his masters, kept his publishing, built something real that keeps paying long after he's gone. Welcome to O'Block alone has crossed billion-stream territory. The posthumous albums he left behind keep charting. The estate is valued in the millions and growing with every sync deal, every playlist ad, every viral TikTok using his voice. Tasha sits right in the middle of those decisions. She's not just some grieving mom in the background. She's actively involved, approving projects, protecting the narrative, making sure her son's story stays authentic and not watered down for clout. That kind of control over a lucrative catalog makes her a target in these streets where hunger never sleeps. Robbers see the name King Vaughn's mom, and they see opportunity. They don't care about the pain, the legacy, or the fact that this woman already lost everything once. They just see a bag connected to a dead legend and they move. But when the move allegedly carries the scent of the old Atlanta beef, it stops being simple greed and starts smelling like settled scores. Street conversations are getting louder by the hour. Older heads in Chicago are shaking their heads saying, this is what happens when the main lion is gone. The hyenas come for pride. Youngins are on live streams arguing back and forth. Some defend the robbery as just business. Everybody eats how they can. Others are ready to ride out, typing if Vaughn was here none of this would be happening. O'Block would have shut it down instantly. Lil Durk's name keeps getting mentioned too because everybody knows how close he and Vaughn were. Durk signed him, they dropped music together, they shared the trenches. People are wondering why OTF hasn't addressed this publicly yet. Is it a strategy? Is it waiting for facts? Or is the silence speaking volumes about how complicated everything still is years later? Quando Rondo himself has stayed relatively quiet on the latest wave, but his old tracks where he addressed the Atlanta situation keep getting recirculated. Fans are dissecting lyrics, old interviews, old Instagram lives, looking for any clue that connects this robbery back to lingering tension from that night outside the Monaco hookah lounge. Let's not forget the human side of Tasha in all this chaos. This is a woman who started with dreams bigger than the hood she ended up trapped in. Born in LA, she brought that West Coast energy to Chicago, but the streets reshaped her quickly. She worked long retail hours, came home to cook, clean, and raise boys who the city wanted to turn into statistics. When Silk got taken out by that sniper, she didn't run. She stayed and fought to keep her family together in an environment designed to break mothers. She saw her son get swallowed by the system, juvenile, county jail, high-profile cases, and she prayed through every single night. When Vaughn finally got his break and started shining, she was his biggest cheerleader. She celebrated every milestone like it was her own victory because in many ways it was. She endured the grief of his death with the whole world watching her cry at the funeral, on interviews, at gravesite visits. She turned that pain into purpose by staying involved in his music and community work. And now this robbery attempt allegedly hits her when she's supposed to be in a safer chapter. The trauma compounds. The fear doesn't just go away because the streams are still coming in. Money can buy a lot, but it can't buy peace when the streets still see you as connected to a name that carries centuries of beef. The twists keep coming too. Some reports suggest the robbers knew exactly who she was. They allegedly mentioned Vaughn's name during the confrontation, making it clear this wasn't random. Others say it was masked up and quick, but the word on the block travels faster than police reports. Social media detectives are posting blurry videos, comparing timestamps, linking locations to known GD or Quando adjacent circles. Whether those connections are real or just internet folklore fueled by old beef doesn't even matter at this point. The perception alone is enough to keep the fire raging. Vaughn fans feel betrayed by the culture they love. They glorified the drill, streamed the violence, repeated the lyrics, and now they're watching the consequences play out on the woman who gave birth to the voice they worship. It's a bitter pill. Breakfast Club-style debates are happening in every comment section. Is this what we signed up for when we celebrated the rawness? Or did we ignore the warning signs Vaughn himself was rapping about? What's really shaking people is how bold the move feels. If the streets are right and there's any connection, even loose, to Quando Rondo's side, then this becomes more than crime. It becomes personal vendetta extended to the grave. Quando was in the middle of that Atlanta situation. His crew was there when the shots that killed Vaughn rang out. Since then the dices, the subliminals, the tension never fully died down. Now years later Tasha allegedly gets approached in a way that feels like unfinished business. That's the kind of heartless energy that makes even hardened street dudes say nah, that's too far. Older generation heads are posting long voice notes saying the code is completely dead. Young drill fans are arguing in comment sections, some defending it as everybody gotta eat, others ready to turn up because you don't touch Mama Vaughn. The divide is real, but the anger toward the disrespect is universal. Pages like Say Cheese, Academics, and Forgotten Kings type channels are getting flooded with takes. Everybody wants to know, was it really linked? Did they say Vaughn's name during the robbery? How close was the connection? These questions are burning up the timeline and nobody has clean answers yet, which only makes the speculation hotter. Tasha's strength through all this is what's keeping a lot of people inspired even in the middle of the anger. This is the same woman who worked retail shifts while raising kids in a war zone. The same mother who sat through every court date praying her son would come home. The same queen who raps her deceased son's lyrics word for word in the club, like she was right there in every story he told, because she basically was. She turned her grief into action, helping other mothers, pushing foundations, making sure Vaughn's voice keeps reaching new generations. She didn't disappear into sorrow. She stood up and kept his legacy breathing. But even the strongest soldiers get tired. Having a gun pointed at you after everything she's already survived can break something deep inside. The trauma stacks. The fear doesn't vanish just because the bank account looks healthy. Money from streams and royalties can pay bills, but it can't erase the memory of cold metal pressed against your skin while someone demands what your dead son left you. That's the harsh reality the culture keeps ignoring when it celebrates the glamour of drill and forgets the human cost left behind. As this story continues to develop, more twists keep surfacing. Some sources claim the robbers were young and hungry, just seeing an opportunity tied to a big name. Others swear the energy and the circles involved make it feel targeted, like a message was being sent. Blurry videos, alleged witness statements, and street chatter keep dropping daily. Police reports are slow coming because Chicago has bigger problems every single night, but the public pressure from Vaughn fans is keeping the story alive. They refuse to let it die quietly. They tag every big page, demand updates, share old clips of Vaughn protecting his family in songs, and remind everybody that Mama Vaughn deserves peace after all she's given. The culture is being forced to look at itself in the mirror right now. We stream the violence, we repeat the lyrics, we glorify the savagery, but when the mothers start catching bullets and guns, suddenly everybody wants to act shocked. Vaughn told us this would happen. He wrapped the consequences in real time. We just chose to hear the hard parts and ignore the warnings. The saddest part is that Tasha Bennett represents so many mothers in these streets. Women who raise kings in hell, bury them too young, and then have to keep living while the same world that took their child keeps trying to take more. She didn't run from O'Block when it would have been easier. She stayed and fought. She gave her son the resilience that made him the storyteller millions love today. And now she's paying another price for that love. The robbery, whether random or connected, shows that fame, money, and legacy don't always equal safety once the main protector is gone. Vaughn's name still carries weight, but his physical presence is what kept the wolves at a distance. Without him, the family feels exposed again. That truth is painful, but it's the reality so many families in Chicago, Atlanta, and every drill city are living right now. So family, here we are at the end of this messy, painful, and downright disrespectful situation. King Vaughn's mother Tasha Bennett, the woman who raised a legend in the trenches of O'Block, who already buried her husband and then her son, allegedly had a gun pointed in her face in what many are calling a targeted robbery connected to the same energy that took Vaughn from us in Atlanta. The irony is brutal, the pain is heavy, and the questions are still unanswered. Did Quando Rondo's side really have anything to do with it? Was this random street hunger or unfinished business? How much more can one mother endure before the culture finally says enough? These are the conversations happening in every barbershop, group chat, and comment section right now. Vaughn documented the cycle his whole career, and now his own family is trapped inside it again. The streams keep coming, the catalog keeps earning, but the protection died with him and the streets showed they don't care. This story hurts because it shows the real price behind all the music we love. The platinum plaques, the billions of streams, the LLKV chants, none of it stopped the gun from reaching Tasha. It's a wake-up call wrapped in tragedy. Tasha Bennett is still standing tall, still repping her son, still fighting to keep his voice alive, and for that she deserves every ounce of respect. But the culture has to do better. We can't keep glorifying the violence and then act surprised when it comes for the mothers. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this robbery was connected to the old Atlanta beef or just another hungry lick? Should the culture be protecting mothers like Tasha no matter what side they're on? Is it time we start holding these streets more accountable instead of just streaming the drama? Drop your real thoughts in the comments. No cap, no hiding. Tell me if you think Quando's name being dragged is fair or just internet smoke. Like this video, if your heart breaks for Mama Vaughn, share it so more people see what's really happening behind the music, and subscribe with notifications because we're not done covering these raw stories. Long live King Vaughn.